How do you pace your heart during the season that broke it? My mom lost her life to heart disease during the holidays. Her physician predicted she would die sooner, but he borrowed her a little time inserting a pacemaker inside of her. Imagine my delight to have recently met the very person that contributed to its invention. George Nelms. He's a man with a brilliant mind, but prior to his ability to master it, it was the very thing that almost had him defeated. What does the world behold for those of us with enough faith to keep trying? I'm Claudia Parker. 5 Minutes of Faith starts now.
My name is George Nelms. I presently live in Scottsdale, Arizona.
And I'm here with Claudia Parker on 5 Minutes of Faith.
I grew up on 39th and Vernon Avenue on the south side of Chicago. And back in the early 50s, there was this new technology that was coming out called television. My father was talking to me about, hey, you ought to become a television repairman. And so that was really his vision and my vision. So I went to this Dunbar High School. The motto of the school was, he who has a trade has an estate. So I was going to be a television repairman. That was my goal. And but working at and going to school at Dunbar, getting my senior year, I was working at a place called Microprocessor Hospital as a page. And then I met this young lady by the name of Glenda Kennedy. Some reason we just started dating. And then she took me home one day. And so she introduced me to her mother. I didn't know the word condescending, but the attitude, it was kind of like in her attitude. I said, man, she really doesn't like where I live. She didn't like it. And Glenda went to DuSable High School, not Dunbar. And her friend, most of them were going to the university. And I said, well, maybe if I go to the university, I can maybe get her mother to like me. And going to the university, at first it was a culture shock, because coming from Dunbar and 39th and Vernon, I had always gone to school with Black people. So you go in at that point with a cultural disadvantage. You got to play catch up because of the high school, I guess, didn't teach the type of English that I needed to succeed at the university. So I went there for a year, basically flunked out. It really taught me how I learned and what I had to do to learn. And so then I reapplied back to the university, and then I went downstate. And by then, Linda was not the love of my life at that point. The university and getting through school was the love of my life. Throughout that whole time, I was very good at math and physics and science. That was really good. I was really good at that. But I had this problem with English. And I took Rhetoric 200 once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And every time I take it, I would fail, but you could still progress in the engineering courses. So you get all those out, but you still got this little albatross hanging over your head called Rhetoric. Meanwhile, the corporations come to campus, they interview you, and you get job offers. And these job offers to me they were amazing, because the job offers back in late 56 and 57, I started off, in all the jobs, I was making more than both of my parents put together. You're passing all your other courses, you're doing great there. RCA, the company I was going to go to work for in New Jersey, had come and picked up most of my furniture and everything and moved it out to New Jersey. And they let you know that, George, you flunked this course and you will not be able to graduate because this one course. That was probably the lowest point in my life. You go through this type of thoughts, maybe life is not worth living. So you think about actually taking yourself out. Seriously. So that was the second train of thought. And then the other one as well, say, well, wait a minute, let's take it. What do you have to lose? And if you lose, then you lose, but at least take the course. So I stayed at the university that summer. RCA said, hey, look, if you get your degree, the job is still open to you. You can come. But so I stayed at that summer and I took one course. Awesome. Rhetoric 200. Come September, I'm out of New Jersey. However, at that point, you don't get a chance to walk. But they send you a degree in the mail, and hey, you open the mail and there it is, and you're happy. The whole world opens up to you with an education. Well, one day I was given a talk. I'm standing at this podium. I'm looking out, had over 1,000 employees out there. How did I do this? Get all these white faces out there, I was telling Stanley this story. That's what Stanley said, George, you didn't do this by yourself. He said, have you ever heard of footprints in the sand? And I saw that, you look down and you weren't by yourself. There were footprints of somebody helping you do this.